This is Hunt Nebraska, the official podcast for insight into Nebraska's hunting and shooting sports community. Be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, our space for sharing stories, information, tips, and techniques. Now, Hunt Nebraska.
Welcome into the Hunt Nebraska podcast here today. We have a full cabin with a new member in today.
We do have somebody new.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not every day, but lately we have a couple. And also from same organization, the National Wild Turkey Federation. So that's two new people within a couple weeks of each other. So look at us go branching out.
Exciting.
Well, we're not going to bury it all. Let's go ahead and go straight into introducing our guest. We have Shelby with the National Wild Turkey Federation. You've been on for about a month and a half.
I've been in Nebraska for about a month. I've been working for about 2 months.
Very good. And what is your role with the Turkey Federation and I should also say with Nebraska Game and Parks?
I am the Nebraska Hunting and Shooting R3 coordinator for the National Wild Turkey Federation in partnership with Nebraska Game and Parks. My job is to provide support for outreach programs.
Nice. But more importantly, where are you from? Because I know some of you might be picking up a little bit of an accent.
Really?
No.
That's great. If there is
maybe
none.
here soon.
I'm originally from southeastern Minnesota.
So yeah, branching out, bringing more into Nebraska here, because you said you first started and you had to go straight to with the big National Wild Turkey Federation convention, and then you had to pretty much go home, pack up, and drive then all the way down here to Nebraska to get started here.
Yes.
Nice. Wasn't just a quick trip though either.
Yeah, I went to the National Wild Turkey Federation National Convention. I was there for 6 days. It's a 5-day convention. It is crazy. I think we broke our record. We had over 80,000 people this year.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And
Wow.
then
There we
I
go.
forgot the crowd when she introduced herself. I just remembered.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The redo of your introduction, I guess.
And then after that, I got home and had about a week back at home before I had to drive to South Dakota to pack up.
Is that a laugh at South Dakota?
That wasn't what I thought it was.
You might have some calls from South Dakota after that.
Yeah.
That's all right. They said when I went up there for a meeting one time, they said I was the best thing to leave South Dakota
Wow.
or come out of South Dakota. How does that go? How does it go? I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway,
So distracted
by the South Dakota laughter.
by South Dakota kicking Aaron out of their state, apparently.
well, and folks, we got a lot to squeeze in a short amount of time because
Yes.
somehow we got this one scheduled right up against a bunch of 2:00 meetings.
Yes, we do.
Are you in the
And we're
same
about-
2
we're
o'clock
about
meeting?
30 minutes.
Separate
I am-
2
well,
o'clock meetings.
I hedged my bet to see who I'm with because I've got two.
Oh, Gotcha.
Everyone wanted to meet at the same time today.
so whoever your favorite is, that's where you'll be and pop back and forth.
I think both of them are kind of Zoom based.
Oh,
So can you do a double Zoom?
I don't know if you can.
I don't know. I guess
maybe you
you'll-
can do one on your
you'll
phone
find
or
out.
one on
We'll
the.
find. I can
computer.
ignore 2 meetings at a time. I've done it before. We'll have to try it.
We'll find out.
I'm sorry.
That
I'm sorry to
sounds
find
terrible.
So Shelby, I know we keep asking you, but has it happened yet? Have you actually gone and have either Valentino's pizza or had a Runza or any other Nebraska focused food yet? Now you've been here for nearly a month.
I have not.
Oh my gosh. What are we doing? We're failing as Nebraskans.
Well, I think a Runza is something that she should experience with her family.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've heard mixed reviews about a Runza.
Do you like cabbage?
nostalgia.
I think it just goes
Aaron,
down.
what's because you're really in Iowa. What is that? Iowean?
Iowegian?
I was born
Yes.
on the east side of the Missouri.
Unfortunately, but no.
Yeah,
I didn't know you didn't claim Iowa as your.
I'm a Nebraskan by choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even
Nebraskan
better.
by choice. So
Do you like Runzas though?
Valentino's pizza, pretty good.
Very good.
Especially when they had the Grand Italian Buffet. I don't know if they still have that
yeah. No, they
going
don't.
on
I
now.
don't think so.
Buffets kind of have gone,
Yeah.
a different direction. But yeah, Amigos, that's another one. It's kind
Oh,
of a
yep.
Nebraska thing.
I'm
That's
not a big Amigos person.
really good ranch.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do have really good
Yep.
ranch. Both Runza and Amigos, actually.
That they do. So,
And me being a good Catholic growing up, they had cheese Frenchies that were kind of the go-to on a Friday to avoid your meat.
Okay.
Prevention of meats.
That's that.
Prevention of
what?
meat.
A cheese Frenchie?
Cheese Frenchie is what they were called. It's pretty much like a grilled cheese that's kind of, for lack of a better way, been deep fried.
Oh,
I don't know
my.
how else to explain it.
That's the most Nebraska thing I've ever heard. Like state fair-esque, really.
Yep.
Wow.
But your family, your mom's coming down here in not too distant future.
No, 2 weeks.
In a
And then
couple
the
of
week
weeks.
after that, I'll go home to turkey hunt.
So, there you go. There you go. Good segue.
Yeah, going into turkey. And if you're watching, as you can see us here on our lovely video on YouTube here, you'll see that there is more than a Shelby. You're hearing multiple voices too. So quick round of introductions. I'm Kyle Gaston, the Hunter Education Coordinator. Hershy's over there with Nebraska Game and Parks trying to play some more buttons.
Oh, suspenseful.
Oh, yeah. That one's pretty good.
And then we have Megan Price, who we're all waiting to see what button's going to push for that one.
Oh, yeah.
there
Hunting
you
and
go.
shooting
That's
sports
I
outreach
didn't know he had
coordinator.
harp in
Super
here.
fun. Yeah. So
So
fancy.
we're all in here, but we're all excited because guess what's going on now?
Turkey season. Turkey season.
Yep.
As you can see, I know Shelby's the one that she's bragging about all her skills on the slate call
Oh, boy.
earlier, teaching new hunters around the states here even just this previous weekend for her. So yeah, we are getting all geared up. But I guess I got a question for all of you. Have you ever gone through, and I know at least one of you have, gone through a challenge when you're going to hunt turkeys? Made it more difficult for yourself?
Oh, yes.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Eh,
Make it.
Tell
All
us
right.
more.
I don't know if it was on purpose. I was
What?
learning.
What did you challenge yourself on for turkey hunting, I should say?
Well, I guess if we're going challenge-wise, without like on-purpose challenge, I switched to trying to get a turkey with my bow,
There you go.
There we
which
go.
I think
That's a
is
challenge.
It
a
is.
bigger challenge than a shotgun.
Yes.
So switching up the method of take. And I know last year we set up a big challenge here in the Hunt Nebraska cabin of which I couldn't be a part of that episode, so I wanted to have my chance to be part of it on doing a turkey challenge for everyone here. On trying to find something to make it just a little more challenging or a little more focused on what you're trying to do.
I'm not sure turkey hunting needs to be a lot more challenging.
Doesn't.
I mean, it's challenging enough the way it is, right? I mean, you're going out there trying to get those gobblers to do what's not natural to them, and that's come to the hen rather than the hen going to the gobbler. You got the weather in there. You've got their eyesight and their hearing that you've got to compete against. That's a tough challenge to begin with.
Yeah.
But there is the thing like, oh, I forgot my calls. Oh, I forgot my camouflage hat or face mask or whatever it is. We accidentally have those challenges of our own. Now you're going to add more challenges.
I am. Don't you ever want to step it up to see if you can do something to, for those who have been successful for multiple years hunting? It's like, can I do something a little bit different? Can I do just like this? Well, I'll back it up here. Shelby, when you decided to switch to doing with archery versus a shotgun, what was the reasoning for doing that?
Yes. What was the reasoning?
I wanted a challenge. I wanted to be able to be closer to the bird, and being able to pull a bow back is hard. Like, I didn't have a blind. I was just sitting out in the open.
Yeah.
That's
I had turkeys at
so-
5 yards.
More to
but
brag about when you challenge yourself.
well, it can be as long as it's
As long as you're successful.
as
I
long
guess.
as it all
Yeah.
works together.
Yeah.
But
Or it's the other way. You now have an excuse for why you didn't get a bird.
Oh,
But
There's
yeah.
a lot of hunters that builds in an excuse for them right away.
well,
There you
that
go.
which is great because when you're sitting there and the barbecue grill is empty, there is no wild turkey on it. You're going to need something to do, Kyle. It's like, well, let me tell you, we would have had a turkey, but I decided to challenge myself. Hopefully, you guys like hot dogs because we're going to share these. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you were taking, well, I'll toss this out to everybody. At what distance do you normally harvest a turkey with a shotgun? Because most of the spots that we've hunted, if not all of them, shotgun's the other option. very few states allow rifle use, and Nebraska's not one of them. Iowa, where I've hunted, Kansas, South Dakota, I don't think is only shotgun up there. Minnesota's shotgun only, probably, as far as firearm.
Oh yes, firearm wise, yes.
So what distance is your turkey normally harvested with a shotgun?
I still typically keep it within that 20 yards range.
Okay,
but I've been willing to poke out a little bit further than that.
All right.
I think that's the goal, is to try to have it in the 20 to 25. I mean, I've taken a tom at 7 yards one time.
See, that's bow range. That's bow range.
Because that was with a gun. He came in running, so it was a split section.
And that's exactly where I was going. Is I think that of all the firearm hunting you can do, turkey hunting, especially spring turkey hunting with the shotgun, is probably the closest distance-wise that you get to that same feel of hunting with the archery setup, because it is close. You know, a lot of our deer probably here in the state of Nebraska with bow and arrow are 20 yards and closer, and I think there's a lot of turkeys with shotguns in the spring. It's that 20, like you said, somewhere even closer. That's awful close. I mean, there's a point where you get them too close with the shotgun in the spring. But
it only took one shot. My pattern was pretty small.
Yeah, I bet so.
That's funny. I've also taken one at 40 yards just because he wouldn't come in any closer. So
okay. All right. So when you've gone archery hunting with turkeys, what was your self-imposed limit right there? What was your range?
I could shoot confidently with my bow up to 30 yards. I personally did not want to take a turkey over 20 with my bow for my first turkey. I had turkeys within 5 to 10 yards, but because I didn't have a blind and the hen came first, I didn't really have the opportunity to pull back, so I didn't get one last year. Well, that's the goal this year.
Yeah, and that is a heck of a challenge, because you're exactly right. Now, the nice thing with archery setup, too close isn't a problem like it is with shotguns. But before ground blinds, those poppable, portable ground blinds set up, I know in the east, the state to the east of us, the success rate for spring turkeys was right around 40% or something like that, which is not uncommon during that era in the Midwest. Archery tackle, this is just one state. Archery tackle, before those blinds became commonplace, or even before there were many of them at all, even homemade versions, the success rate for spring turkey hunting with archery tackle, 2%.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite the drop. A couple of different factors go in there besides just the blind. The seasons were laid out a little bit differently. But just like you said, those birds are made to see movement. And when you draw that bow back, you either hope for a really not smart turkey or just being able to hide your movement in such a way that they don't see it. But that is a heck of a challenge. So, but that's is that going to be one of them?
We're still building this. This is going to be a conversation. Okay. This is an ever growing.
So we can still
add stuff. We can take things out. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to add some. Can I write on here?
Here you go. I got a piece of paper right there. Okay. I even got scissors here to cut it out.
Scissors and everything. Look at him go.
Right.
I am sometimes prepared, even if he doesn't always think I am.
Kyle is ready to go.
A perk about Nebraska is there's 3 different subspecies.
That's right.
There you go.
In Minnesota, we don't have that. So I guess for me, I don't know if Nebraskans feel this way, but would that be a challenge, is to get a different subspecies than what you're used to?
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Yep. So we can do one of the different species. Now, are you saying a different one than they normally harvest, or they need to actually get a certain species?
A different one than they normally harvest. Like if you harvest Easterns all the time, try to go get a Merriam on the west side.
Yep. So making you do a little bit of potentially doing some traveling.
The 3 that Nebraska has: Eastern, Merriam, and what's the other one?
Rio.
Oh, okay.
The Rio Grande.
Got you.
So typically,
it's kind of like a blonde tip.
Yeah, I've just heard from various hunters that it's somewhat hard to distinguish between the various groups, especially Nebraska, because they kind of hybridize a little bit and stuff. So,
yep. So the typical theory behind it, you got your white tip Merriams. You're typically going out further west, saying eastern part of the state for the Easterns. That's easy to remember. And then the Rios are the only area I've ever seen that's maybe slightly of a focus has been the southwest, but otherwise kind of sporadic throughout the area, or even just central part. But that's the general theory. But again, you'll see them all over and all mixed in different shades. And as you mentioned those. So,
He's got scissors. Is
and
that
as
what
we
you're
were
looking for?
talking
Oh,
about too was
I didn't know this
a little
was
bit
just
of
for me or for everybody.
well, I'm willing to share.
Oh, are we drawing challenges?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna
get.
get.
Yeah,
So-
it's going into the hat.
Part of the challenges, as we mentioned, is make it a little more difficult yourself. But sometimes we might also, I could phrase it this way of
Hey, which one am I writing down?
maybe becoming a.
Whichever one you want.
What did you write down?
Oh, am I supposed to read mine?
You can. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
let's
If you're
hear
writing
it.
something down, we got to
We
have to
don't wanna
talk about it.
Am I supposed to read it now?
Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna get to
Okay,
a point
1
here.
minute.
All right.
And go.
So, anyways, sometimes you go hunting different locations or somewhere else. Not everybody hunts the same way, and so
You're down to 40 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry.
we need to get him away from that board at some point soon here.
I know. I'm not sure how we
He's having
decided
too
that
much
was
fun
his new
over there.
location.
I just didn't think you wanted
We
to
might go back to the youngest person goes back over there.
Oh gosh.
I finally got to use that horn.
There you go.
Anyways, but sometimes you hear somebody harvest a turkey a different way. Like, hey, well, I think I could do that too. Again, challenging yourself, but just not everybody's going to have that. Or maybe that season's just not going to work out for you. You're not going to have the private property you normally have, and you have to go on hunt on public property. And so
Yeah.
that's just how it works out. And so maybe part of it, I said, is that challenge to ourselves, thinking in the ideal world, you have everything available to you and everything's perfect. But really, the world isn't. And even some of these is how people normally hunt. So it's not going to be a challenge for some and challenge for others because that's just how they normally hunt.
Yeah.
Now we can jump into reading up on other ones. I'm assuming, Shelby, you wrote down,
Different subspecies than what
different-
you're used to.
okay.
Perfect.
You are just a writing machine over here.
That's
Hershey,
what-
what are
yeah,
you?
how many we
What do you
got?
got so far?
Last year we snuck in a few of these, and I want to make sure I don't get stuck with it. So this is one that actually comes from a dream when my dad and I started turkey hunting back quite a ways back. I won't tell you what year it was because you guys will say that was ancient. But he had a dream, said that they were having troubles shooting turkeys that year. And in his dream, he said that I was the one complaining about it the most. Believe that. I don't know. But so he said, yeah, I went hunting with you and you sat there and we called in a big tom. And just before you shot, you yelled, "Fore!" just like on the golf course. So the challenge is you've got to yell "Fore" nice and loud before you shoot. That's what it's going to be.
Before or while you're shooting?
Before. I mean, it's going to,
Yeesh.
I don't think there's any marksmanship class that says talk while you shoot, but this one
Law
here, you
enforcement.
got to yell "Fore" and then boom or twang. So I've got that.
All right.
And then this other one, and we'll go to our National Wild Turkey Federation representative here and staff member. What is the difference between, what is the one thing on our spring turkey permit here in the state of Nebraska that bird has to have to make it a legal
Beard.
harvest? A beard. And I never could get any of my kids to do this for Halloween, but you must hunt wearing a full, I must say, fake beard.
Oh.
So we'll have to, if you draw that one, it's gonna be fun. Have you ever hunted with a beard? I mean, just
No.
No?
I have not.
right.
I've hunted with plenty of face masks and stuff, but never actually using a
fake
beard.
a fake beard.
A
yeah.
fake beard,
No,
it sounds like. Not even, you guys can't grow real ones. You got to go get a fake one.
I don't think I could grow it out as far as I would need to meet a fake beard.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got to be fake. All right, toss it
Copy
in there.
that.
All right. So some of the other ones, these are kind of throwbacks to the previous episode, so we can talk about them and we can decide if we're going to continue or not. Because I know one of the myths that you guys talked about in some detail, they say was debunked. Now, I wasn't sure. There were some other questions. And Shelby, you probably don't know much about this other than maybe a slight conversation we've maybe overheard. But without decoys, you need to hunt with pinwheels.
I have heard this.
Now, did you hear about this before coming to Nebraska?
No.
Okay.
Me neither.
So, from stories I've been hearing, and I could be telling this story a little incorrectly, but from what I'm hearing was one of the, essentially, I would say, trying to find out the correct term. I was going to say the godfather of Nebraska hunter. I don't know if that's a correct term, but
Well,
one of the leaders of hunter
yeah.
that got it so big here in Nebraska, Dick Turpin, he was on the theory that turkeys are, just like other birds, interested in some shiny things and movement. As you mentioned, they're very attentive to drawing back a bow or anything that catches their eye. And the story goes that he had pinwheels out in front of his house, and some turkeys would keep coming up and looking at the pinwheels or even going and pecking it. And so instead of using decoys, well, we should maybe set up pinwheels as your decoys, so the birds will then be alerted to the shiny and the movement and come in and be, check out what's going on. Now, one of the members, the predecessor to Shelby for the National Wild Turkey Federation, the R3 position, Michael Addison, drew that challenge last year. And we had some pretty good video showing that a bird would not want to come in past that, 60, 70 yard range. And just was very interested in the pinwheel, but just wasn't enough to coax him all the way in. So he was claiming that it was a debunked theory. I then argued, what color was the pinwheel? Was it spinning fast enough or not or too fast? I think there's a lot more that needs to be tested potentially, but I don't know what you guys were thinking about that one.
This sounds like it needs to be a research project.
Oh, the researcher in Shelby's coming out.
Huh.
UNL, you hear that? We need a
UNL,
research
on that.
We'll need a
turkeys
grant.
and pinwheels.
I think we'll need a grant for
Yep.
for that one to fully explore or exploit whichever way you want to go with that one. It's going to be tough finding a pinwheel.
Yeah,
That
any
is true.
pinwheel manufacturers out there that want to sponsor this hunt, let us know.
Because one thing that we found out in this whole process, folks, is that you can stumble on pinwheels just about any time, anywhere. But when you go looking for pinwheels, not as easy to find. Now, we didn't go online.
Oh,
We had to we had to locally source it by our budget constraints. So
Yeah, I'm sure Amazon's got it, but
we had to be built in America, bought in America, with American materials.
well, yeah.
But
But no.
so is it just to go with a pinwheel, or is it different colors? Because last year Michael did black and white, because that was the current theory
Option.
at that time. So is there a color? I mean, we're not going to go out with dangerous colors. It should be Hunter Ed colors. What are we looking at here?
This is where I was looking along the lines there of so you still need that shinier color. So whatever it
Okay.
has to be a kind of a fluorescent color in my mind. I do like the orange just because that's the Hunter Ed person in me. So I'm biased to that one. I know, but then we get a little. Another thought was going turkey head colors, but that could cause some confusion going back and forth of movement with the red and blue. So you want to be careful, especially where you're at with that one. Then,
If somebody accidentally draws this one, and I kind of hope nobody does.
we don't have to. It's still sitting out here on the list here. It's not in there yet.
Because one of the things we had to do last year is we had to film this. We took the GoPros and or I think some different cameras and actually film these challenges and then report back. And they're probably still posted on our Hunt Nebraska Facebook page or YouTube channel. The one thing I do think would be fun is if you hunt public and you walk out with pinwheels and there's other people there. I just want to see the expression.
yeah,
Or maybe that's what it is handing out pinwheels to turkey hunters at a public hunting area.
that would be hilarious.
That would here, you get a pinwheel and you get a pinwheel and they'd be looking at you. It's just like, what are these for? These are very effective.
How
turkey
about this? You don't have to just eliminate using turkey decoys. You just have to have it in your setup with your decoys.
I think we had. Well, see, that was the thing. We actually had a couple of different ones in there. I think if you go back, I think one was hunt only with pinwheels, and I think that's one Michael drew because I think somebody else tossed in there hunt with a pinwheel, and you could use decoys or something along those lines. So, yeah. Well, we should check in with our good buddy Michael Addison and just see if he's hunting with pinwheels.
I can tell you.
I
I could
asked.
tell you that answer, but go ahead, man.
I asked him at State NASP, and he said absolutely not. So
So this one might be a done one then. If we
We'll
go
see.
Off of
Toss
his.
it in there. Toss it
All
in
right.
there.
So another one. I wanted to ask you guys this question: have any of you hunted turkeys from a tree stand?
Only in the fall, incidentally to archery deer hunting. I've heard of people doing it though in the
Right.
spring. I haven't done it myself.
I've seen a few articles about it and stuff, so I was kind of reading up to it, but it goes kind of back and forth on the issue of you're above the bird, and these birds are usually big enough where they're not worried about a predator from above, so they're not normally looking up. Normally, they get a big tone.
Okay.
But the other aspect of it too is when you're up above, there's hardly any cover for you.
No,
You're out in the open. Even though you're above, you're still out in the open. So if you're drawing back, you're lining up your shot. You have some issues along that line of being seen more. But there's also a chance the bird just might not even be looking up to you if you get close enough.
Now, in your back home, mom and dad's place, do they have box blinds there for deer hunting?
Yes.
See, I think that too might add to it. If you hunt out of a box blind compared to like a ladder stand or something like that, you might have a little bit more. Like I've heard people having success doing it, and again thinking they're above that line of sight. I think that those turkeys are so paranoid of anything and everything eating them that they're looking up, they're looking down, they're looking around. I mean, they're probably checking underneath their toes, make sure a sandworm isn't going to devour them. But all right. What else you got? You got a lot of green slips over there.
We do.
I made two, and I got I got told I was writing a bunch.
Yeah. So
Pick
we
one
have,
that you want to think that you would like to try or see.
So I guess I have hunted without a blind, so that's one of them. I've done this one. I just used a tree instead.
Yep.
So I think that's a good one. Some of the other ones we have is don't use any decoys. I've heard of people doing that and being successful too. So
no decoys,
hunt
without a blind.
Then we have use 3 Jake decoys.
I think that one got drawn last year.
It did
too,
get drawn, so we might leave that one off. Like I said, I was just going through the old show doc.
You can leave. I don't know how well it was used.
I don't know if it was really attempted
We never did
very
get that
well.
video back, Jeff.
And then this one is only use a box call.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for Shelby.
And I wasn't sure if I should change it. Said use only a box call or use only a call you don't normally use. Because for those, like for
So
me,
a box
I've only
call?
ever used a box call. So that one's like, okay,
make it that.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Because I think I got the box call last year, and I do use box calls, so it was fun. Had a bunch of Jakes beat up my decoy.
Yeah, if I was through that, I'd have to be like learning a mouth call or something maybe. Because I've never used a mouth call.
So that covered up those ones there. Any other ideas before we do a final drawing around here?
Oh, I got all sorts of ideas, but
We already got a
We'll
pretty
probably
full
go.
hat here.
yeah, I was
So
gonna say we got to get you to your meeting.
I know, and we got you to your 2 meetings. All right, who wants to go first? There's no volunteers.
Well, we got a guest. You said
I must say, this is a guest.
Boy,
Hopefully Shelby is.
don't pick a small slip.
Yeah. You can't
pick a-
peek. She's
I'm
going to be a
gonna-
regular.
Some of these
so-
are folded and some are not, so I'm just going to make a quick
And-
fold so you don't only grab the big ones.
And so that everybody knows, whether you're listening or sitting around this table, so you pull it out, and you've got to do that for one hunt,
One hunt.
and we've got to film it and
Only
so we can
one
show it on
hunt?
the YouTube channel. Well, you can do more than
You can do
that.
more
I
hunt,
think
but you need at
This
least
needs to
one
be a
hunt.
season thing until you get successful.
That'd be a lot of
Oh,
videos
my goodness.
to edit.
that might that
Well,
fake
hopefully
beard
it's
might
a
get
one
itchy.
and done.
That fake beard, because it doesn't say that
Fake beard.
this only happens
Yeah.
in Nebraska. If you go until you're
Oh,
successful,
you're saying I need to do this in Minnesota?
you might have to do it in Minnesota.
If
You
it's
might
a
have to come back
season-long,
here.
yeah.
If you, so
Yeah.
So you're saying I should draw 2, one for Nebraska, one for
Oh.
Minnesota?
Oh,
hadn't thought about that. We'll go to the judge.
Oh, I'm the judge? Cool.
we decided, yeah.
Everybody starts looking at me.
We all looked at you at the same time, so it must have been.
I will take some reason the authority, but yes, I will. Let's go ahead and do one of each because you're going to be there for more than one day, I'm assuming, hunting.
3 days, yep.
3 days. So you get 1 day to hunt
I'll
uniquely.
probably do it the first day.
There you go.
And you're going to be successful and it'll be completed.
You're
All right.
right.
So, all right. There it is in our lovely hunter education hat.
I won't pick. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Is this Minnesota or Nebraska?
Depending on what it reads, we'll find out, I guess.
Must hunt with a fake beard.
Yeah. I think that's something you should do with your dad.
Yep.
My goodness.
I think so.
Get it?
I hope he listens to this before I come up and hunt.
No, I hope he
knows what
doesn't.
to
You just
expect.
show up with your fake beard.
No, we'll help you pick out the beard.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can do that. We like you enough to help. So I'm envisioning you could go with the Amish style with no mustache.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Go with the
But you're saying we could just do a mustache.
No,
No.
it's a
Gotta be the
beard.
full-
No,
beard.
the Amish is just that full beard. It
boy.
says beard, so or you can go with the lumberjack. There's all sorts of options.
Oh, yeah.
there.
Oh boy.
That's a good first one. We'll come back around at the end for the second
For the
one.
okay.
Oh gosh, I gotta
So,
go next. Oh, let's see. Decisions. I have use pinwheels with decoys.
Oh my goodness, 2 years in a row.
Oh man,
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be easier to find a fake beard than it is
a pinwheel.
a pinwheel.
I might have
We're
to
gonna
break,
just do it.
break
You should have
down
to buy a
and use
pinwheel kit and just
Amazon.
We
A pinwheel kit.
Yeah, that's what we had to do for the black and white ones. You'd be amazed that most kids don't like really dull colored pinwheels for
Shocking.
some reason.
build one.
So
I said that, but I think we're gonna go more fluorescent colors. It'll be good.
maybe, just maybe, the pinwheel wasn't big enough. Did we ever
There
think
we
about
go.
that? Because they do make
Oh.
those ones for your garden, right? That stay out all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be more true to the story that I've heard from the
Okay.
Turpin of it as being a bigger one.
All right.
Yeah, I also wonder though if those birds weren't just like accustomed to that.
To pinwheels.
Yeah, if they were in his yard all the time,
Oh,
then they would get used to it and they
Not-
wouldn't think anything of it. So
Dick
I need to
Turpin's
go
not
set.
Mike Ladison's. Okay.
Yeah, I need to go set out my pinwheels for like a few days prior to my hunt
Yeah, you do that.
so that they're ready to
in.
go.
Just like you're blind, they have to get accustomed to it before they go
Yeah,
hunting.
exactly. They got to get accustomed. They're like,
Folks
oh
swear,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the
I know there's
favorite pinwheel.
regulations
We walk
on
by.
wildlife management areas for when and when you can't have blinds on the ground. We'll have to check the pinwheel.
Yeah, that
restrictions.
regulation. Okay.
I think we got some wildlife folks in our building right now. We'll have to go check to
ask.
see
We'll
if
go
they
ask.
know
Yeah.
what the regulations are for pinwheel placage on wildlife management areas.
They do have some
Headed on the
private
hunt.
ground where I'm sure no one would mess with my pinwheels too. So that may be
Yeah, I'd be worried about that.
All
Can't
right,
wait to-
Hershey.
to walk out there with pinwheels at my grandparents. My grandpa would be a little bit confused.
Yeah. No more than Shelby's dad when she shows up with a beard.
Oh
but
my gosh, he's gonna laugh.
It's
What
for
did-
work.
Oh, by the way, you have to video me too, Dad.
Yeah.
yeah. Thinking about it, we'll have to see her if her dad lets her back in. Come back
back
to
to
Nebraska.
Nebraska after
Yeah. Yep.
She did one podcast with us and not coming back again.
Oh, I got my own. Yell Fore before shooting.
Yes,
All right.
that's who should have gotten that one.
Yeah, it is. Wait, Kyle, are you gonna draw?
I'll hold it as I draw it. I was just trying to let somebody else draw. I also know.
Almost
Could have
trust you.
handed it to me. I thought you were just not gonna draw.
All right, here we go. I have to not use any decoys while hunting.
Oh,
No, that's doable. Very doable.
That's actually
Thanks to the
later
new
in
turkey
season.
calling trainings I've been getting from Shelby, shouldn't be a problem.
there you go.
So we're gonna. All right, so I can see the video for the pinwheel. We kind of had that before. I can see a really good video for Shelby having a full beard.
Do I need a
Go to
second
turkey
one
hunt.
for Nebraska
That you
here?
you will. I can see a good video of me yelling Fore before I pull the
absolutely.
trigger. A video of no decoys might not be as exciting as it sounds.
Oh,
no.
So
You're gonna have to get creative.
yeah, folks, there's no videos in this video. There's no decoys. in
no
this video.
decoys.
This video has no decoys, and you're just gonna have to. Keep
I'm gonna do
saying that over again.
panoramic views all the time.
Maybe there you go.
Around, show that I
Bloopers.
haven't hit it.
Bloopers
All
of
right,
him
here we
like walking
go.
out to the stand or something, or not to the stand, the blind. Maybe
There
you
you
need to
go.
be in the stand.
There might be the stand.
Hunt without a blind. That's perfect
Oh,
for
there
There
you
you
go.
go.
That's already in our wheelhouse.
So,
So-
all right. So we all have our challenge of what we're going to be doing out there hunting this year. We'll make sure the camera's all ready to go, so we'll be able to record it. So that way, hopefully soon, we'll be able to post some video up here of the challenge. I know everybody's going to be anxious to see Shelby now in a full beard, holding Tom to compare if she or the Tom has the bigger beard.
We know what the
We
rest
can
of the day's going to be
measure.
spent
Yeah,
doing.
you can
Yeah.
comparison of beard. All right. Very
Maybe that's what you need to get a turkey beard and just
Ooh.
We,
attach.
yeah, do you have multiple turkey beards that you can put on a string
Well,
and
they're-
line up there? There you
They're
go.
all on mounts already, so
Oh man.
All right.
I think Aaron should pick out my beard since he wrote it down. And it'll be a surprise of what beard I have to wear.
Don't think I won't be researching those during my next Zoom meeting. It'll be over there.
Make sure your input in my meeting here.
Pass me. I'm looking at the Fu Manchus.
All right. Well, we all have our challenges. If any of these sound fun to you or any that you think we were challenging, let us know. Or if you have a challenge that you want to be entered in for the next year's challenges, I think this will probably become an annual event for us. So go ahead, make sure to put some comments down below of what challenges we should be having.
Oh, boy.
Or maybe I just not thought about. I think we should do something with snacks on one of these challenges in the future. Too.
Oh,
what snacks you're allowed to have? Have a rollout like potato chips that you have to eat while you're out hunting.
While the
Loud
turkey's
ones.
coming in, you have to
Oh,
eat your
of course.
potato
I can
chips.
imagine the audio just crunch, crunch, crunch. Yeah.
As you're going to shoot, see if the bird. But no, please make sure to like, subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're always listening in. And remember, we'll see you outdoors.
Hunt Nebraska, brought to you by your Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.